So you couldn't publicize your ballot until after the winner was chosen. We all know Travis Hunter, who had a very special season. We understand it. But here was my ballot. No surprise. Ashton Jeanty, number one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you reasons as to why in a moment. Travis Hunter, number two, I think deserved to be considered one of the best players in the country based on what he accomplished both ways. And then Dylan Gabriel, undefeated, the only undefeated team in the country, quarterback for Oregon, 4 touchdown passes in the Big Ten championship game, had a basically a flawless season for the Oregon Ducks. But here's what separated Jeanty from Hunter for me. One, winning matters. They're in the playoff. Colorado isn't. B, the eye test. What Jeanty did as a tailback this year is not something we see each and every year from running backs. We've seen some great ones here on the Mesa, and Jeanty even went above and beyond to the point where he's approaching Barry Sanders' record for most rush yards, most rushing touchdowns in a season, and he just did things that nobody does. Bouncing off tacklers, 70-yard touchdown runs, winning in all conditions. Their only loss, he went for 200 yards, essentially, at Oregon. So he was the best player at his position for one of the best teams in the country. Travis Hunter is a great player, but he didn't have a record-breaking season as a receiver. He didn't have a record-breaking season in the secondary. He's just a great two-way player, which is so rare, and that's an amazing accomplishment. But for me, Jeanty is one of the best college running backs ever. The season he just had in 2024 is one of the more remarkable seasons of any player, really at any position. So for me, it went to Jeanty. I understand Hunter getting the award. I thought he would. But for me, just using your eyes, watching Jeanty all year, there wasn't a player like him in the country this year. Boom. My vote.
See you guys tomorrow.
Raiders football coming up in 2 hours and 9 minutes. Enjoy the dead air.
Would you agree that this award in particular was more based on the media hype than actually what happened on the field?
Always is.
To an extent.
ESPN's a media machine, but they have rights to the Big 12, not to the Mountain West. They had Travis Hunter on game days from State College, Pennsylvania in week 11 when Colorado was off.
But this is for a player that I don't think deserved to win.
You don't think he deserved to win?
I don't think he should have won. I'll say that. I don't think he should have won. Not saying he didn't deserve it. I'll say he should not have won it.
Okay.
I think all your arguments about Ashton Jeanty are spot on. I'm more or less saying Travis Hunter won the award not because of what he did on the field. It's because he's in front of everybody's faces, and it's the first name people think about when they think about the Heisman Award. And he has stats to back it up, but they weren't gaudy stats. They weren't like, oh my God. And this whole, well, look how many snaps he played. That's not even a stat. Stop trying to make it a stat. It's not. Like, yeah, he played the most snaps in college football because he played both ways, but he wasn't the best wide receiver. He didn't win the best, what was it, secondary or the best, best defensive back,
player,
defensive back in the country. And I found this to be incredibly interesting.
Okay.
So PFF, it's used for a lot of different metrics to grade how players are, like how well they are.
Fangraphs for football.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And in the PFF era, since 2013.
Okay. 11 years.
11 years. All right. Here are the top players, according to PFF, their grades for their season.
Okay.
Joe Burrow is the highest ever. In 2019, he graded out as a 95 overall.
All right, so since 2013, any position, Joe Burrow had the best PFF, like analytical season.
Of Heisman winners.
Okay.
Of Heisman winners. Devontae Smith, Jaden Daniels, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, and Bryce Young.
Okay.
Bryce Young in 2021, his PFF grade was 92.1. And then Caleb Williams in 2022, his PFF grade was 91.8. You want to know what Travis Hunter's PFF grade this year was?
Yeah.
This year, he had 2 because he was offense and defense. His defensive PFF grade was 90.3.
Okay.
And his offensive PFF grade was 85.3.
Really? Even with the 90-plus receptions and the 1,100 yards, he was still in the 80s as a receiver. Okay, what was Ashton Jeanty?
Ashton Jeanty was 95.3. The highest of any player ever
since 2013.
Since 2013.
Yeah, that speaks to what we saw.
Well, let me rephrase that.
Any Heisman winner.
any Heisman winner, not any
But
player.
were there a lot of players higher than Joe Burrow at 95 that didn't win the Heisman?
Maybe
Probably
like
not. I mean, one
defensive ends or tackles or
But doesn't that
linebackers.
speak to, dude, when you would put on the highlights of Ashton Jeanty, he's doing stuff guys don't do.
Yeah.
He's bouncing off 3-4 guys. Entire defensive strategies are to slow him down. 8-9 in the box. They could not do it. He's the only player ever to have 125 rushing yards in every game of a season.
Yeah.
Like, he was unstoppable. And by the way, he was hurt in the second half of the year. He wore some arm brace second half of the year. Didn't slow him down.
Yeah, it's Travis Hunter is the PFF's worst graded Heisman in the PFF
era. Okay.
Jeanty graded higher than any Heisman Trophy winner in the PFF era, and yet he didn't win. Now, I didn't think it was going to be this close.
It was super close.
I mean, this thing was like razor thin,
like 200 votes. How about this? The West Coast vote. Jeanty won over Hunter by like 3 spots, or like 3 votes overall. Every region was relatively close. I mean, Jeanty was a runaway second place finisher.
It was a 2-man
to Gabriel and Ward, who were 3rd and 4th. Yeah. Here's the thing: if Ashton Jeanty would have played outside of the group of 5 and had the same year, he would have easily won it.
And it's looking at the vote. You don't want to break down every single vote, because how many people get a Heisman vote?
850 media members and every living Heisman member.
That's a lot.
It's like 900.
And some people had like Dylan Gabriel as their number 1 on the Heisman list. They
or
had
Shedeur Sanders
in the top 3, or they had the running back from Arizona State in their top 3.
Yeah, Scattaboo, Tyler Warren, the tight end of Penn State.
I think Cam Ward got a couple first place
absolutely.
votes.
He was a finalist.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if everybody voted just for either Jeanty or Hunter, I think Jeanty would have won it. But because you had people voting for other players here and there and not even having Jeanty in their top 3 or top 2, it's ridiculous. Jeanty should have won. Hunter's a really good player. Jeanty had a better season. And frankly, it's really not even close.
How about this? Jeanty was on more ballots
than Hunter,
which I found unbelievable. Jeanty was on over 95% of the ballots. What do you got, Brian?
I think they're both overhyped.
I
think both of them are.
So who would you have given it to?
Probably Travis Hunter, just because he played both sides of the ball. And, hey, big deal. He's going to break Barry Sanders' records in 3 extra games. Yeah,
but I mean, you're going back a long way
to
even find a player that's comparable in rush yards.
It should still be mentioned. Like ESPN, a lot of them are just, he's going to break Barry Sanders' record. And then they don't say that. No, but it's going to take him, and if they win a game, it's going to be 4 more. The farther they go in the tournament, then it's just going to be more games.
And then they should say for Travis Hunter, he didn't finish in any top 10 in any category for anything that he did.
Receiving yards, he did. He was like 6th in receiving yards or 6th in receptions. He had 92 receptions. It was a big number. Look up the receiving numbers from 2024. We can discuss on the other side. We'll kick off hour 2 of John and Jim coming up.